Being a fan of anime and manga, I've most commonly come across the phrase otaku when describing people who have a somewhat intense interest in all things anime, manga, Japan, and of course, waifus. Despite this, otaku can actually refer to anyone with a deep interest and passion in something. Of course, this does apply to anime and manga, but also video games, idols, or even train spotting. Of course, referring to railroad transport, not the use of illegal substances. The bottom line is, an otaku is just someone who is passionately interested in something. Originally, the word otaku has been surrounded by negative connotations. Basically, whenever someone pictured an otaku, they'd picture someone sat alone in their room, wailing all of their money on Fate Go. Jokes aside, the term has slowly become less negative as the world has started realising, you know what, Japan's pop culture is pretty great. Even the Japanese government has focused more on their pop culture with their Cool Japan policy since 2010. It's likely that most watching have a pretty good understanding of the anime, manga and gaming side of things, so why not dive into some of the otaku cultures that are lesser known in the West. Starting with idol groups. Idol groups are massive in Japan. Like bands in the West, idol groups perform live and sell CDs. However, unlike bands in the West, idol groups also offer things like events where you can shake the idol's hands. Although a lot of it is entertainment, idol culture can, however, get quite dark and morally questionable. And so, while I do want to make an entertaining video, I also want to be informative, and so it would be ignorant of me not to bring up some of the darker sides of idol culture. Idols tend to be marketed for their attractiveness and perfect image. And while many do have singing and acting training, it's the unrealistic facade and fantasy of them which helps their fanbase stay loyal. Along with this, idol work schedules are often criticised as they can be quite excessive, even expecting idols to work when ill. Along with this, idols often don't get proper mental health support, to the point that showing signs of struggle can lead to dismissal or suspension due to company concerns of leaving fans worried and shattering the idol's image. Also, idols can tend to be heavily sexualized and even banned from dating or marriage, all in order to protect and maintain their image that their fanbases have of them. Despite how morally wrong some aspects of idol culture is, they are definitely one of the most popular examples of otaku culture in Japan. Moving on to some more light-hearted topics. For people who grew up watching Thomas, this one's for you. The Tetsudo otaku, or the railroad otaku, loves all things trains. Whether it be riding trains, spotting trains, photographing trains, or even collecting model trains and uniforms. This is quite a popular interest worldwide, with train spotters existing globally, making it a perfect example of otaku culture. Up next is voice acting otakus, or seiyu otakus. They're a subset of anime otakus, and they show particular interest in the voice acting side of all things anime. Voice acting otakus like to follow their favourite actors' careers very closely, and they like to travel to conventions and meet and greets to hear their favourite characters' voices in the flesh. The final type of otaku I'm going to cover today is the military otaku, or gunji otaku. This is for all the people who are into weapons, uniforms, military vehicles, and all the other things you'll find in Call of Duty. This also covers Gundam and all the other military mecha series. Touching back on a previous point, although it is beginning to shift from a negative label with policies and views like Cool Japan, it is still, in a majority of cases, a negative label, often given connotations of someone who secludes themselves, i.e. a shut-in. Since otakus tend to be of the younger generation, it is also something that is generally disapproved of by the older population, and there is even media scare stories of otakus committing crimes or experiencing social decay. And therefore, it is less the idea of hobbies that people don't like, and more the idea that otaku culture can lead people down a path that can socially ruin them. So there you have it. I now hope you know a bit more about otaku culture and the views that surround it in Japan. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, like, subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video.